Well, I did it again. I got another project. Sometimes I just can't pass these things up. This is a 1996 Arctic Cat Ext 580, and this is the EFI, fuel injected. And guy needed money and put it on for $275. He said he just rebuilt the top end, but he didn't tighten down the bolts or something yet, he said. But I'm going to pull that off, double check everything, check the rods. I just had to go back to his house. I forgot the pipe there. Needs a little bit of welding. And needs a battery. I took the battery out there. It's outside. We had a hell of a time trying to load it because this is where the brake caliper goes here. And that caliper, we didn't know what it was seized. We knew something was seized. The track wouldn't turn. It ended up being this caliper here. So I'll be rebuilding that. And without that thing turning, oh, we had a hell of a time loading it up. We kept, he had it up on a trailer, but still a foot shorter than the box of my truck. And I just get the tips of the skis up on it, you know, and you grab the things and pull it in. Well, every time I went to pull it in, it would lift the tailgate up. And I thought I think the tracks were catching on it a bit. You know, so I had him lifting up the back. I pulled it, we tried for half an hour, couldn't get putting boards under it, still wouldn't go. Well, we had his trailer jacked up with a jack-all, and it had tilted over and was pushing on the cable on my tailgate. So every time we lifted it up, the jack-all would push down on the cable and lift my tailgate up. So it kept jamming and jamming, and I'm on this side, so I never saw it. I couldn't even see it. Then he went to that side, and I said, oh my God, it's the cable on your tailgate. So he disconnected the jack-all, and then we scooted it in there. But on those, on my truck there, the Avalanche, they have a rubber bed in them. And they're meant for quads. That's what they designed those trucks for, not for snow machines. Well, the skis stick to the rubber. So we had to kind of jack it up, peel the rubber all out, and it's a big rubber mat, and then it slid in. That freaking machine's heavy. I don't know what the gross weight of that thing is, man, but it's heavy. This is liquid cool. They did make an air-cooled 400. And then the 580s, the 600s, the 900s, 700s, they're all liquid cooled. 900's a triple. I'm not sure if the 700 is or not. Really good engine, Suzuki engine. But I'm going to pull that top end off again, make sure everything's done right. You can see it from all my videos, all past work done, and every bike I had in here has been butchered. So I'm not going to trust that. Has the heated grips. Heated thumb warmers, and then heated grips as well too. The seat needs a little bit of work, and I think it needs rear shocks. It's pretty mushy, kind of stays down there. That's too weak. Yeah, you can stiffen up the springs under there. The springs are adjustable, and maybe the shocks are too. I'm not sure on these ones, but I know you can tension the springs. But I'll check those shocks out. There's only 4,400 kilometers on this, so not a lot of use. And I got a crack in the cowl here, so I'm going to panel bond the epoxy that with reinforcement. And then there's a hole punched in the other side a little bit. I just got to push it out and epoxy that. And the only thing I can see that I'm missing, and I'm going to look around, it might be here somewhere, is the springs for the exhaust. I got the exhaust. He gave me a little box of parts here, but I don't see any springs. What the heck's that? Off his car? It's off. It's not off this. Yeah, I don't know if those screws are any good for anything, but maybe the springs are laying down in there somewhere. I'm going to check that out. But this will be this fall or winter project, along with all the other ones. But I don't think this one's going to need a lot of work. As long as it's got spark, I'll get this thing running. Because there's the CDI box there. You know, if that's damaged, well, then you're pretty much a parts machine here. Okay, that's it for now. This is the Arctic Cat brake caliper seized. That piston is still seized in there. I'm just doing one at a time. I bolted it all back together. It's got the O-ring right there. Bolted that back together, and then I had to crank my air compressor up to about 130 pounds, and finally blew that piston out. So now I'm going to clean that piston up really good, and you can see all the crap in there. But I popped this O-ring out with my pick, and then that groove inside the O-ring there, that's what gets all gummed up. I'll clean that out. I'll show you when I get it out here. My one light burnt out. May have to use this one. Okay. Pop this O-ring out, just use a pick. This is what I had to do to the Yamaha Venture, and there was 4, 8, 12 pistons to clean out. This actually doesn't look too bad in here. Mine was really gummed up. This one isn't too bad. I think mostly the piston here is corroded. Let's see how the piston fits in there without the O-ring. Should just fall in and out like that. It's good. I usually just run my thumbnail around the outside in case there's any like calcium on there. I call it calcium. Corrosion. Little white scaling. That's what holds the O-ring out, pinches it tight. Just make sure that's off. You can see a little bit of on there. See A little bit right there. Just comes off with your fingernail. And then the sides too. Just go along with your fingernail. This is what I did on a Yamaha Venture. It took me hours. There's 2 O-rings on them. This just has 1. Okay, and I'm gonna get a little bit of brake fluid. Find some here. A motor .6, or I'd be using that. But you just get her assembled. In there. Put a little bit of this on there. I should go easy. It's too tight. Too tight. Let's see if I can get that out without hurting myself. I may have to order a new O-ring if it's swollen up. It's no good. I'm going to call them this afternoon. I got to order some parts to break the muffler springs. That should just push in like butter. If it doesn't, then you're going to have problems. You got to get it square though. Oh my mother. Should be easier than that. Too stiff. That's too stiff. I gotta get a new O-ring. Too stiff. Foam cut out. So I got black to this one and a black and red to that one. I just had to cut them off. They're rotted right on there. Not likely I'm going to save this. So these are studs. Let me sandblast this, paint this up, drill that out. Probably cut them all off, put new ones in. That's what I'm looking at. There's the drain plug. Let me see if there's any oil in there. Okay, I just want to film how this linkage goes here. This is the forward and reverse linkage. And it looks like it has, I just disconnected it, a switch. Maybe there's a light on the dash or something like that that comes on, or safety switch. I see there's a pipe missing here. I don't know what that is. Don't know what these are. But I think I'm going to pull this cover off. There's the, I don't know how you're supposed to get at that dipstick because it's underneath the battery box to check the oil in there. That's impossible. Literally impossible. I'm going to clean some more dirt out of there first. I just wanted to video how this went here. This is holds the that's the shifter switch on there. Not sure if there's an indicator on the dash or whatever, but the chain looks in good shape. The gears look in really good shape. A little bit of wear there, but not too bad. And this is the cam chain tensioner, so this is a spring inside of here. I didn't know what that was, and that looks good. The tension's good. Everything looks good. I'm just going to clean it all up and put her back together. Paint some parts, mop up the oil, and looks good. It's only 4,400 kilometers, so that's not much. Okay, that's it. This bar here holds up the coolant tank, bolts into there with the longer bolt. That one there. I got to clean all those up. This gear was lying in this cover with this bolt. When I took it off, that was lying like that, and you can see the wear in there. This is not supposed to be undone. Yeah, that goes back in there. So I'll have to tighten that up, get the torque. Maybe I have to put a little bit of Loctite on that too or something. Yeah, that's crazy. That shouldn't have been undone. Let me fix that. Well, I just can't pass these deals up. I don't care. I'm buying them. If I flip them in the wintertime, make some money, that's what I'm going to do. But for $250, this 1995 Skidoo liquid cooled 780. Rotex 780, he said it was a 580 or something like that on the internet, but I don't think he switched the engine up. Maybe he did, I don't know. And toolkit there. It's got a broken front shock, needs a seat cover, and the key's broken off in here, and the recoil rope broke. I don't think this is electric start. I think it's just a pull start. High beam, low beam, yeah. Yeah, this is a pull start, so I got to pull the recoil off down there. It's not too hard. And yeah, here's another one, like 200 and fuel petcock there shut off. I just can't believe it, like how cheap these things are. Like this is what you pay for stuff in the 1970s, 200 bucks, 300, 400 bucks. Not 1990s liquid cooled. This thing's got 7,700 kilometers on it. I believe that's what it says in there. 7,760 or 80, I can't see. So I'll get this one going. Skis look good. It's got a broken shock under there. And yeah, another project. I'm just leaving this out here at my daughter's house because I got no more room in my house. Okay, that's it. My first skate of the year. July. Haven't skated since last, I think, November. Maybe December, but I think it was the election. Just before the election. Anyways, I couldn't breathe. I got the battery box all painted. I sandblasted, all painted. It's rough, but it's all cleaned up now. Drilled it, cut off all those studs and drilled them out. And then the brake. There's the brake there. The pads were all rusty too, so I sanded them down, ground them down, and painted them. Not the inner parts, but. And I ended up having to put those O-rings back in. I just cleaned it up as best I could and put it in. I'm going to try it because those O-rings, just one of those O-rings is $26 in change for one, plus tax. So I'm looking at 60. What's that? $53 for two of them, he said it was, plus tax. So you're looking at $60 for two O-rings. $60. Screw that. I'll use the Fred Flintstone brakes before I pay that kind of money. Anyways, that's where I'm at with that right now. I'm still waiting for the ignition switch to come in to see if I got spark. I could bypass it, but I'm just going to wait for the switch to come in. And then I just want to pull it over a couple times and just to see if I got spark before I pull the top end of the engine down. And then that skidoo out there, I've been pricing out a couple parts for that, like the shock. I'm not going to do any work to that thing at all right now. I just keep my eye open if I see some parts for it. Got to focus on one at a time. So yeah, I got to braze in these. There's a couple holes in this expansion chamber. There's 3 here and I think 1 on the other side. I'm going to see if I can braze them in or tin them in. Maybe put a little plate on there. And then I want to pull the clutches off. Pull the top end off, pull the clutches off. Clean them all up really good. Make sure they're in good shape. And this thing here should be ready. Oh, I got to pull the tank off. To pull the tank off, 2 bolts in the seat, and here pulls the seat off and the tank off. And then I got to dump that out, flush that out. And I got a new fuel gauge and gas cap coming in, because whenever you get this broken on here, water will run inside, so you got to get a new one. Okay, that's it for now. That's it for this project. I put the Norton over here. I just kind of threw it together sitting there for now because I got a Harley. This guy's been bugging me to fix his Harley for 2 or 3 weeks now, and I thought he's bringing it today or tomorrow. He's supposed to call me this week, so I cleaned that all off. And I'm going to do a little bit of work for him on that bike. Maybe I'll do a video on that one as well too. Okay, that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching.